2026, we're going to get started with software engineering in 2026. It's a whole new world. There are specific requirements going forward now in software engineering that we all need to be focused on. Are you already behind? You're probably already behind. We should be all essentially, right? I'm talking about AI code generation. Some people call it vibe coding. I think there's a slight difference between software engineering using generative coding and vibe coding. Let me just kind of describe that really quick, what the difference is between the two. Let's actually add that onto our list. Engineering 2026. Let's get this going here. That's the plan. We're doing this right now. Let's fix that. Okay. Difference between vibe coding and software engineering focus. Vibe coding submits a prompt with large brushstrokes. For example, build this feature. Let's fix this bug. Copy, paste error, pasted error, like stack trace, things like that. 2026. And so what I have to do here is, let's see, we'll throw party popper. There you go. Happy New Year. We need this. This is something I have to do for you know, what I do. My company. I need to help set objectives, expectations, right? Expectations. All right. So AI should be writing code. AI should be reading the code. This one right here, I feel like is often forgotten. This is an often forgotten step. So most of us so far have been asking the AI to write code for us. However, we don't go ask the AI to go back and validate the work, to do extra things after we've already succeeded essentially implementing it. Oh, so let's see. Let's do validation steps. Let's see. What is AI validation? So we need to do things like ask it security, security review, code reduction, right? We could do those things. Code reduction. Let's see. Test coverage, documentation. And you know, like dead code removal, like housekeeping, right? Housekeeping things. One of the practices that I also like to implement when using generative coding is to keep the task very narrow, and we need to add that in. What do you think of dumping? 12 factor is observability, right? Essentially production-ready applications. This is critical. Most of the code that's written from vibe coding, it has very clearly, we've seen many times, is security problems, right? We've seen major security problems. If you use Claude superpowers to get the planning, research, and testing methodologies available as all Claude skills. Software engineering focused generative coding, different, minimize, ask AI to refactor and reduce code, more deliberate and structured approach. Let's see. So example, let's see. Example. Let's see. Yeah. Create a function. Let's do another example. Right. So these are more precise, more directed at manipulating the code base rather than a broad auto remediation like restart pod. Oh, thank you. All right. Let's add that. All right, so AI ops. Let's add that also. A whole nother step here. AI operations. That's a really good point you made. All right, so remediation like pod restart, scale. Although we kind of have some things don't necessarily need to be AI oriented because they're very obvious. Scaling, debugging. Wait, log triage. What else did you have in there? Rollback. Maybe. I don't know about that one. I don't know. I think I'm going to have a hard time arguing that one right now. That might be a tricky one to argue at this moment, though. It's something that maybe. All right, so I'm calling this a fringe future. Fringe. Like this is like we're headed towards fringe AI with AI powered operations. It's because a lot of the existing instrumentation, orchestration, observability is not necessary to be driven by AI because it's all numerics based, thresholds based. We already have auto scaling based on resource consumption. We don't necessarily need to have an AI sitting in there to do some of those things. Though we're headed that way, aren't we? We're headed that way. I'm going to check out this chat. So you mean that already written, does it actually mean something like from when they have been seeing major change? Yes. So this is neat. So Claude Code is already rewriting Claude Code, and it's already happening. And it's all 100% of the code. And this just was a recent announcement by Anthropic. Anthropic has openly stated that they're using AI, 100% of AI to write their code. So if they're doing that and it's already succeeding for them, then we're kind of at the point where everyone really is a standard expectation to adopt these AI generative coding systems. I mean, this is kind of the expectation. It is becoming more and more solidified, and look at all these different tools and technologies that are surrounding it right now. If you kind of just look through this, these are skills that you have to master in 2026 that go beyond traditional. Sorry, all right, here, let's write this. Let's write down skills in 2026 that go beyond traditional programming. Right here. This is what we're focused on. Stephen, you probably want to add to the core principles that the AI should do preliminary security review of the produced code. Yes, that is a required step. So let's define a workflow. Let's do that right here. Let's just do here. Workflow using generative. A specific way. We need to say a specific way, and then also review code to ensure that it actually implemented it, right? So these writing software engineering guideline for 2026, and this is something that I got to do for my company. 68 patents, isn't that crazy? 68 patents. Yep, it's you can see it's all public. You can see all the claims. I'm kind of scared people would forget about more traditional tools like good profilers, linters, because it's all AI now. Yep. Well, what we need to do is we ask the AI to use those tools, right? Ask the AI to use those tools. All right. Ask AI to use tools like linters, right? Tests. What else did you have? Profilers. Excellent. Okay. All right. Okay. I want the core principles to be at the top. Okay. Workflow. Excellent. AI uses them perfectly. It does. It actually, for the most part, it does a pretty good job. AI for stress testing. Yes. Thank you. Yes, we need to add that in. That's like smoke testing, stress testing. Okay. All right. Ask AI to draw images, generative diagrams. We use Gemini Flash 3 or whatever it is. Draw full pictures. Like we have the AI make visualizations, essentially. All right, Neva, thank you. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I use AI to do that a lot. Writing documentation beyond just AI, right? I do acknowledge that the intent is real and extremely important input. Well, yeah, you want your goal. You want to state your goal, intent and goal. I think that actually helps a lot. All right, so prompting guidelines, right? Prompting guidelines, intent, goal, and then simple. It's a lot of correct by construction logic. From a confidence perspective, yes, because of human plus AI, that makes a lot of sense. By the way, the superpower brainstorm will also make sure that Claude uses test-driven development. Ah, yes, TDD. I like that. Let's add that in here. Test-driven development with AI. So, right, so you're using common, well understood, accepted practices. Basically, common, well defined processes that have been known to work. Proven. All right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Is there an AI that says no? If he doesn't know the answer, SAQ 3000, they're getting there, right? They're getting there. You want to do your best to try avoid a situation where it would say no. Also, where it would say yes and get something wrong, right? Which is kind of the same thing, right? I think it's kind of the same thing. Yes, it makes tests first. A lot of them, it makes a lot of tests. Oh, Doxy, that's terrible. Oh no. I hope that well, that's just awful. I am somewhat scared with test-driven development that writes tests are too coupled. Like if you do well, it's great, but internal unit tests first seems sus. Should note that actually our work as engineers and architects now is much harder. We need to pay extra a careful architectural planning yes. Okay. I do want to say that, but in a way that's very inviting. Like we're trying to motivate everyone to take advantage of this technology to accelerate, right? And so I want to say that in a way, those things are more needed than ever. So I would say your engineering expertise is needed more than ever. So now that the typing and manual clicking on your computer is mostly solved by AI. Here you go. Excellent. I like that. Savon, you said it the right way. You said it absolutely the right way. That's what we want. That's what we want. Thank you. Directors of agents instead of the code workers they used to be. All right. Yeah. Director of agent. I like that. These are really fun, but people don't explain it online properly. It's a mess. Will you ever make a video about it? Yeah, we did. We made multiple videos about MCP. We even made an MCP several times on stream, live. We made some live MCPs. We did it. We made it live. So MCP is just a way for the AI to get more details about things that it doesn't know. Right? That's one. It's also a way for the AI to execute commands on systems. Right? It's a programmatic, deterministic way for the AI to execute commands like manipulating a database, adding data, removing data, generating tables in a database. And time isn't real. Yeah, Kyle. I know, right? Time's not real. Correct, even ChatGPT leaving a watermark on its content. Yep, watermarks all over the place. Watermarks. Qubits would be interesting, but you can't really do neural nets on them. Traditional way. Yeah, it'll be different. You're right. It'll be different. Master. You want to master it. All right. So you want to master the concepts? Well, that's kind of what we're working on right now. So if you stick around or you come back later or you check in later, we will be focusing on MCP. So that is a part of the document here. That is part of it. That is part of it. Okay. Let's go to our Discord really quick. Okay. So this is this the supercode stuff right here? AI Vibe, a guide to superpowers. Yes, it is. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's copy this. Let's copy this. Read through superpower skills. Is this a whole separate thing? Okay. This is a separate thing. Okay. Here, let's zoom out on that. Okay. All right. We'll add this in. We'll add this in. Okay, we'll add this. We'll add this to the doc. Okay. Clear. Close. Thank you for the likes, you guys. You're reading it. Nice. Thank you for the hearts and the reactions, you guys. Thank you for the floaty heart icons there. All right, so PB paste. Wait, git add. 1 second. Git status. Git commit dash am. Refactored. Well, updated SE 2026 MD. Okay, push, and then we do PB paste to soft. There we go. Okay, now it's added in. We're making our way. The name of the cybersecurity group in your college, they made an app which basically is turning off Google Personalized Ad Center. Like, bro, we can edit it in settings as well. I know. Yeah, I know. That app is useless. You just use the user interface directly. Hey, edit, Elevate. It's you again. Hey, how's it going? Good to have you here. Making your way. Hey, you know what? We're writing Software Engineering 2026, all the things that you need to know. It's basically Claude output. As a software engineer, and you're good. Say you're a good software engineer. Someone says, hey, you should go use AI. Obviously, it's a different skill set. Get that, we get that part out of the way. If you are also good at generative coding, a very, very, very good software engineer is only really made 10% better, maybe, their day more productive. However, if you take a software engineer that is does not hardly do software engineering at all, I was going to use different words. I'm going to say like basically not an engineer at all. And then you give them AI. Sorry, this might offend some people. I'm not meaning to offend you. I'm just saying this is like perception. All right, perception. They see people, non-software engineers who don't code day to day. They will see AI as this amazing superpower. I mean, it is to them in a way that just audit the code, validate it works, and then go through a few cycles to validate that everything is kosher. And it may make you like 10% faster. Your productivity goes up 10%. Right? I think about that. Obviously, arbitrary numbers, I'm currently stating with arbitrary numbers, it's different for everyone. So it could be a much bigger percentage, but usually it's going to be some increase in productivity. Be very good at the actual work of engineering and coding to use AI to its fullest. Let's cut stale knowledge. AIs have a cutoff date. Large language models don't know everything. So an MCP will bring knowledge in. AIs do not have any access to any of your private data. So like you're talking about your ETL, your pipeline, you've got databases, you've got log files. They don't have access to those systems. If you have an MCP that can execute secure commands to fetch and post that data, that's what an MCP is for. LLMs only have read-only. They're read-only. However, if you add an MCP, they can start writing, right? They can update your data. Like an MCP for Salesforce or MCP for Jira, Confluence, Atlassian tools. They can now edit your tickets, edit your wiki pages. They can do work for you on these external systems. And then there's limitations on the context window. An MCP can help reduce the dependence on that context window and make your overall code generation or whatever you're having the AI do more effective. Basically, you're fetching 3 to 6 APIs, take the data and transform it, and load into SQL databases. There you go. So would MCP help make my life easier? It could. If you have, it depends. So let's think about that. If you are already using like maybe Python and it's doing that work for you and it's already coded, that is essentially what the MCP is. The MCP is a bunch of code that the AI can then execute in a deterministic fashion. So if you've got a common pipeline where you would want to use it in a code generator like Claude, then an MCP would be beneficial. You don't need it though. It's not required. It's just there to help accelerate some of your day-to-day tasks. For example, here I'll show you. We've got an MCP server. So pubnub MCP. We've got an MCP server. Let's see here. Let me see. It's on GitHub here. It gives you a lot of stuff. So it gives you all of the SDK documentation for connecting devices. So if you want to build an app where users are communicating with in-app communication, you use our MCP server in Claude Code, Codex, Gemini, Cursor, VS Studio, or VS Code. You would install that, and it would now have all the knowledge of all of our SDKs and how our entire infrastructure works. So that way you don't really need to learn all of our documentation, right? It also has the ability to maintain your account management. So your API keys, configuration, and things like that. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. Thank you for the hearts. It also has built-in API access, so it can start using your API keys and then sort of debug or enhance your product, right? So there's just a whole bunch of different things that an MCP server enables your code generator to do. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. Thank you. So I need nightly runs, basically, if they break, etc. Would the MCP job be able to resolve? Yes. Mr. 8long, yes. You are on the right track now. So what you want to do, you could use something like Claude Code and then get an MCP server that would help you maintain a fully working and fully resolved. You could do that. You